If I can teach other people to do half of what I do, child, please. It's a dub. Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, go ahead and hit subscribe in that bottom right corner. Hit that bell so you get notification every time I upload a new video. Y'all are going to watch me for notification and all. Go ahead and do that. For those of y'all new, go ahead and hit pause, get to the drink, let's smoke. Whatever you getting into, then come on back. For those of y'all know how we do gonna bless this food, we're gonna get into it. Alright. Alright, thank you for these non-vegetables. Hit the Christ. Amen. Yes. How y'all doing? What you eating on? What you drinking on? So this is a very different kind of video for my returning viewers and subscribers. So if you here to just get the food sounds and nothing else, you might want to go to the last video or wait for the next one. I got another one coming for y'all soon. I got some projects I'm working on. Yes. But for those of y'all who are brand new, future doctors at UGA, I am in a PhD program for those of y'all who are new to my channel and don't know that. So this is actually my final presentation for my preparing to teach class. So I'm going to talk about my teaching philosophy and my experience in this class and all the things. So for my cohort, hey, how y'all doing? And for people who not here for that, go to the last video or a playlist or something. I'll link some down in there for y'all. I got me some shrimp, some eggs, some black mussels, sausage, potatoes. Oh, I forgot the corn, y'all. I forgot the corn, but it's okay. And I got some lemons so I can get my lemon rain.
Gotta have that lemon rain.
And I made my seafood boil sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get a few bites in for my people that y'all know why y'all come. Y'all come here for a very specific thing. So I'm gonna get a couple bites in and I'm gonna get into this presentation for y'all. But hey Dr. Apple, I bet you up there laughing at me. So for my cohort people, I think like 2 or 3 y'all knew already, but I'm a mukbanger. I make videos on YouTube. People tune in to watch me eat food. I talk. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depending on what I'm in the mood for. Depending on what my Mummy Army wants to see. Let me get into these questions though. So overview and my teaching philosophy. What do I learn about myself? Child, I learned I'm a little biased with my patients. That's what I did learn. I tell people all the time I can handle anything kids throw at me. I signed up for that as a school counselor. But I have always had a short patience for grown folks. And as I'm in this program, for the people who don't know, I'm getting my PhD in counselor education and supervision. So now I'm working with adult learning. So now learners. So now I'm having to reshape my whole way of thinking, and I have to learn how to extend that same kind of grace and patience to adults as I do kids. And that is hard. Believe me, it is hard, especially for me, because it's like prior to this program, I just expected adults to figure their ish out when they became adults. I think kids have an excuse to do the things they do. Developmentally, I understand that. They're trying to figure out life. They're dependent on adults to show them the way. And in my mind, when she reached adulthood, I know you don't have all the skills you need. Like, I consciously know that, but I still expect something more and something different. And I realized, I think that way of thinking was me coming from my own place of privilege, and I had to check that. It was a blind spot that I'm still working on. But I can own that. The first step in recovery is acknowledging you have a problem, right? Right. That's what I feel in my teaching philosophy. My classroom is a space where people are not just tolerated or accepted, but we celebrate diversity in my class. I'm not expecting everybody to get along. That would be lovely, but it's not realistic. But as human beings, we have to learn how to coexist in the same space, even when we have conflicting ideas. And for my first teaching demonstration, Dr. I don't know if I can say his name on here because I'm on my channel. Y'all know our professor for Tuesday. He asked me to come speak to the group counseling class. And I initially was going to present on norming, the norming stage, but he felt like the cohort as people were in the storming stage, and he needed me to present on that. And I was like, yes. I love the storming stage. I don't mind conflict. That's how we grow. And I don't mean conflict like fighting.
Yeah, we nucky and bucky and ready to fight.
But not physical fighting. But I do mean conflict like, okay, we got opposing ideas. We both passionate about what we believe, and it is what it is. But how do we meet somewhere in the middle? I normalize for that cohort, it is okay to not like each other. It's okay to not stand each other. But it's not okay is that as adults, you don't know how to put your stuff to the side for the betterment of these kids.
I know that's right.
So I was like, yeah, y'all can dislike each other. That's fine. Y'all don't have to keep pretending. Conflict is inevitable, and it's a natural part of life. This is so good. Oh my God. It's the first meal I've had since 7:30 this morning. And it's 6:11. That was my first presentation. And it was virtual. Not virtual. It was face-to-face in person. So I was live in a room with some master level students. My second demonstration was virtual. I wanted to get an experience doing that just because with COVID, we as educators, counselors, people, we've had to just get used to the fact that we've had to learn how to communicate with people in ways that we traditionally don't and depend on that. So I wanted to get the experience of what it's like to teach virtually. Like, I'm comfortable with technology. I'm pretty tech savvy, and if I don't know something, I know how to figure it out or where to go. But I was like, but I feel like teaching is different because just learning about teaching pedagogy and having to be so intentional about how you grade people, how you approach people, how you build relationships with people, how you manage conflict, how you manage people trying you up as a professor, but still maintaining professionalism, but still not letting stuff go unchecked because what you're not going to do is disrespect me. But still trying to figure out how to balance all those things. It takes a lot of effort on the educator's part, mentally and physically, I feel. Excuse me. And it's a lot. And my hat has always gone up to teachers and educators because I know this ain't easy, but being on the other side where I'm learning how to do that same kind of work, this is hard. But I enjoy it. So in my virtual presentation, I want to talk about privilege. I want to really hit on microaggressions, but I feel like it's really hard to just jump right into microaggressions if you don't understand the concept of self and other people first and being able to acknowledge your own privileges. Because I think microaggressions, although they are separate ideas, I feel like you have to understand one to really grasp the other. I did a lesson on privilege. I provided some videos. I did an activity. Planning for this, I thought this was going to be a synchronous virtual experience. Meant that I would be live with a person behind the camera and they would be on the other end of their camera instead of like a recorded version of the lesson and going back. Like synchronous for my people who ain't in a PhD program or in education, but you're still watching. You're still teaching live, but you're not physically in the room. That's synchronous. So I was planning for a virtual synchronous lesson. Life happens. It is what it is, but we're counselors, so we're flexible. So I had to turn that synchronous lesson into an asynchronous one. It wasn't that hard. I had to put a little bit more intentionality behind how I would evaluate and assess people's progress and how do I replicate activities that I would do in person in a virtual space. I think that took a little thinking on my part, but I don't think it took me a lot of time to figure that out. and I'm thankful for that. But I showed a couple of videos. I kept it relevant. I linked in a person I follow on Instagram, Leneezy, and she is a bomb just person in general. She's an alumna of Spelman in Atlanta, and she just be giving people the tea. It's called Parking Lot Pimping, baby. She be giving it to them. And for those of y'all who have never heard of her but are interested, I would definitely send you a link. Actually, I have some stuff linked down in the description. But anywho, pulled some content from, traditional sources like X and websites, and incorporated some new stuff via YouTube or Instagram. And I did my privilege walk activity, which essentially, if we were in person, people be lined up in a, like a line. And as I read a question, if it applies to you, you either take a step forward or a step back. So, for example, if all of us were together, I may say this off the top of my head. If you've been discriminated against because of your race, religion, or sexual identity, take a step backwards. And if that statement applies to you, take a step backwards. And it's a way for people to kind of tell their story in a minimal, non-threatening way. You're just moving, and I think it does take a bit of vulnerability and courage to do it, but you're able to at least kind of show people things about you that they may not know that you're dealing with or that you have dealt with, and you're not talking about it. At least in that moment, you're just moving, and people can visually see who's taking a step forward, he's taking a step back. So you're able to see the privileges that you have, but also the privileges or non-privileges, I don't know if that's the word, but the negative things that come with intersectionality of different people's identities. So you read a series of questions, you let people move forward and backwards, and you obviously process at the end and let people just kind of talk about what was it like for them to experience that, what was it like to see people move up or move down, what surprised you, just some thought-provoking questions, and ideally you would facilitate a conversation. But because I knew this was asynchronous, I had them write a reflection that they would turn into my imaginary Dropbox, and I would read. And I'm pretty sure someone's did it already, but I was trying to get these assignments done, so I did everything ahead of time, so I have to go back and see what was submitted to me. I think some of my strengths as an educator, and this is based on feedback I've gotten from other people, is that I bring myself into the space that I'm in, and it kind of sets the tone that I'm acknowledging my own privileges. I'm acknowledging all my identities, whether they be marginalized or not. I'm modeling for students what I'm expecting them to do as counselors and future counselor educators when they complete a grad program. So I'm pretty open book. I mean, I don't share everything with everybody, but I don't mind being vulnerable in spaces, even with strangers. It took me a long time as a person to get there. And I'm in a place now where I want to share my story because there weren't many people that looked like me in spaces growing up and were able to be themselves loud and proud. And just by simply existing in that space, I think that's one of my biggest strengths. I also think one of my strengths is that I am critical, but kind of challenging people and pushing them in a way that's not disrespectful, but also helps them, well, what I hope helps them start to reconsider, other truths, because it's not my job to try to change nobody's mind or idea about anything. Like, I can do what I can do with the time I got with you, but what I can do is try to offer another perspective, and what you do with that information is on you. I think one of my growing edges, being patient with adults, that one was really hard for me, like really, really hard. And I'm learning. It looks a lot different now than it did, 6 months ago, a year ago. I think another one of my growth areas, finding time to dig in the literature, that is hard for me. And I know it's part of, academia and just education is just something you just get used to. Like, I've been in school for a billion years. I still hate looking at literature. I'm pretty good at it. I know how to do it. I don't like it though. And I'm finding it challenging now to find time to do that and find really good literature. Because I want to be purposeful about using literature that amplifies voices of marginalized people, more specifically women, women of color, and queer people of color as well. Like, I'm very intentional about trying to find media and resources I can use that was created by those, target groups or populations of people. But I'm learning. I'm a full-time counselor, so I'm at work from 7 to 4, and I'm in class from 5 to 8, and I'm studying from 8 to 10. So I be moving. And when I say I'm booked and busy, I am booked and busy. So finding time to do the digging. Like, I can find some BS literature, but if I'm going to present something and if my name is attached to it, I want it to be good, and I want to feel confident that it's good. So for me, just BSing my way through something is not an option. My name means a lot to me. And it's not even about what people think of me, because people are going to think what they think regardless. But I have to live with the fact of knowing that if I slacked off with doing something, I have to look at myself in the mirror and know that. So finding time to do the digging to find good literature that gives me quality that I can use to make quality presentations, that's one of my challenges right now. I'm gonna figure it out though. My overall experience of this class, I came in like, I did not want to do this, like, at all. I don't want to be no teacher. I knew that when I started grad school, I did not want to be no teacher. I definitely didn't want to teach no grown folks. Like, I had no interest in that. Now, child, please, I can see myself doing it. I really can. My sister's been saying this forever. Probably a number of years, honestly. Since I want to say since I actually started practicing counseling. My sister always been telling me that she can see me teaching one day. And I just always thought that was weird. I'm like, girl, I don't want to be no teacher. But now I'm just like, I know the work I can do. I know what iJhamarcus or Mr. Farrell is capable of doing. And he is a dangerous somebody, okay? He is capable of a whole lot of things when he sits down, put his mind to it, and try. I know what I'm capable of. But if I can teach other people... Excuse me. If I can teach other people to do half of what I do, child, please. It's a dub. I don't know if I'm going to be like tenure or associate or whatever the thing is, but now I do see teaching as a part of my future. In addition to counseling, because I love being a counselor. I really do. So we're going to say, good job, Professor. Good job. Good job. Good job. How's my lens or my perspective, my idea of myself as a counselor educator, has that changed in all the areas? I came in knowing I wanted to do research in some capacity. I knew I wanted to be a gatekeeper. I knew I wanted to supervise all of those on a very basic level. But being in this class has shown me that each one of those categories are so complex, and there's so many ways to do work in each one of those areas. I feel a lot more excited about being a counselor educator because I can really make this thing do what it do. I can make it look how I want it to look. I've always thought I had to do it this way or that way because traditional education settings tell us what things should look like, what final products look like. They never show you the process. They never show you different ways that a final product could look. So when my professor told us we needed to present on our experience, it could look any kind of way. I remember her saying, you can act it out or sing it, I don't care, but you need to be creative and do something. I was like, you know what? I'm going to use YouTube. I said, because a handful of people in my cohort know I'm doing it, but I feel comfortable with these people to share this part of my life that they might not have known that I was doing. But I also think it's a good a good way to practice using technology in unorthodox ways to teach people. So for all I know, I might be teaching classes on YouTube. Wait on it. We don't know. We just don't know. But I don't know how long this video been going. I know for class I only got 20 minutes top. But YouTube, y'all gonna start watching at about 15 minutes anyway. But I'm finna cut this camera. I'm finna go finish the rest of my food because I ain't really even made a dent in this like I wanted to. But thank y'all for being with me. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Congratulations, cohort, future doctors. I love y'all. I'm so proud of y'all. And we here. And we gonna stay here because we all getting PhDs. Period. But for my Mummy Army, if you ain't already hit subscribe, well, not Mummy Army, other people, if you ain't already hit subscribe and you came this far, I don't know why you here. Stop playing with yourself. If you are a part of the Mummy Army and you still here, I love you. Thank you so much for supporting me. Make sure you drink your water, eat your food so big and smooth like me because you got 2 weeks of her. Till next time, y'all. Bye.